Golden, as you know, is an artist in New Orleans for many, many years, worked in the French Quarter, had his own gallery, the Crescent Gallery, and did a lot of landscapes of Louisiana, the East Coast, and so forth. And you might recall back in the 70s, those of you old enough to remember, that he did that really wonderful demolition series of the destruction of the New Orleans business district, and then he did his Vietnam series. Now, at the end of Katrina, he has probably done his most powerful work yet. It's a remarkable show that's opened at the New Orleans Museum of Art. It's terrific, powerful stuff, great imagery, and we have a little documentary to show you, and this is really great stuff. It's best work yet.
Let's hear from Mr. Rolland Golden himself.
This is, to me, is a strictly an emotional experience. You know, I'm not reporting on Katrina. I'm painting my feelings about it. That's what I'm trying to express. Suffering of human beings, and suffering of my city, of our city, a great city.
Born in New Orleans in 1931, Rolland Golden attended John Macready's art school in the French Quarter and formalized a lifelong devotion to art. For over 50 years, Golden has exhibited his work internationally. He's earned many awards, and his art is in countless museums and private collections. His series of Hurricane Katrina paintings is an historic addition to a distinguished career. These powerful arrangements address the human tragedy by combining the factual with the visionary.
What Rolland did was to wander through all of these neighborhoods with a camera and sketchbook. And then he would go back in his studio and bring all of these images together to create a more powerful painting.
I didn't just walk out, take a picture, and copy the photograph, or walk out and paint on the scene and copy what I saw. I used what I saw to express what I felt about the subject.
Golden explored many areas ruined by the storm.
To be standing in a place where I had been in many times before, in a neighborhood which at one time was teeming with people, and hear absolute silence and not see a soul was an experience I will never forget.
So he was able to take pieces of destruction and make these composite paintings where he can put all of the destruction in one focused piece, for the viewer to see now, to see in the future.
Golden transformed a work in progress of the Virgin Mary into his first Katrina piece after the hurricane.
I began changing her from being in a cotton field in North Mississippi to being in a cemetery in New Orleans. And that was the beginning of this whole series of paintings. And thank God I did, because it's really been an outlet for me. I realize now that I was very depressed at that point.
As realistic as the Katrina paintings are, many include what Golden calls borderline surrealism, images that are possible but highly unlikely.
Those are symbols of the suffering of people. The hands of the people up in the air, craving to be saved. The body of the person on their knees, trying to raise an arm to be rescued. The red that flows out into the land around the statue to symbolize the blood and suffering that was shed.
The paintings honor the spirit of New Orleans.
So many instances of people helping each other, leaning on each other to get away. A man and a woman with their arms around each other, struggling through the water. These are scenes that, to me, are still very real.
This became very personal. Other things became curiosities, interests, but this was a very personal, very emotional response to this destruction of a city where he was born and has lived most of his life, a city that he loves, a city that has great passion for.
Through these works and those before them, Golden's career has prospered with the help of his family, particularly wife Stella.
I mean, a lot of times I know something's not right in a painting, and I've looked at it so much I can't figure it out. I call my wife Stella, and she'll come look at bingo just like that. She'll spot it, you see, because she's looked at too many paintings.
Golden's art will long reflect the Crescent City's trials and triumphs amidst the reality of life in New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina. He hopes viewers will always remember
the thing that I've been trying to express in the paintings, the suffering of the people, how long it lasted, and the devastation it wrought on the city.
The catalog was done, the text is by John Kemp. Right. So congratulations, John Kemp, to this too.
Thank you. Really
Once again, back just briefly to Rolland in terms of his national and international reputation.
Well, Rolland has had a really great and steady career here, but I think he's probably best known up on the Eastern Seaboard in New York and so forth. In the 1970s, he had a one-artist tour of the Soviet Union. And in fact, they even bought his paintings to include in the Pushkin Museum. And he's also had a number of shows in France, and he's done a lot of work in southern France and a lot of exhibits there too. So he's really well known, probably best known outside of this area. And unfortunately, he's moved away from New Orleans. He and his wife weathered out the storm in their home in Folsom, watching trees fall and everything else around them, and they've decided to, and have, moved to Natchez, Mississippi.
Well, hopefully they'll be coming back and forth.
Oh yeah, his base is here. This is his love. he was just looking for protection.
Yes.
But his love is here.
You know what I found interesting about this? I am going to go see that because I'm a big fan of Rolland's.
Right.
It's full of paintings of people.
Yes.
For years, Rolland, you know, never
Right.
drew
Rarely
people.
ever.
They were all, and which made all his work so like kind of lonely and dramatic because you saw all this, but you saw no movement.
Right.
And now it's full of it.
Well, in this case, in this particular show, of course, he's painting the destroyed city, the architecture of the city, the neighborhoods that he grew up in. But also, how do you express that? You have to only express the passion and the emotion is in the faces of the people.
Right.
So he had to do that. And that's, as you say, very rare for him.
Thank you.
It is.